This is Dr. T. V. Rao, Professor and Principal DBS Institute of Technology, Kavali. So today I am going to explain forced convection in heat transfer. Already we have discussed convective heat transfer means if there is any heat transfer from a solid surface to a flowing medium, such kind of heat transfer you can call it a convective heat transfer. There are two types of convective heat transfer. One is forced convection. Another one is free convection. So in case of forced convection, with the help of any external agency, either by a pump or a fan, if there is a flowing, a fluid is forced with some high velocity, with some high pressure. If there is a heat transfer, such kind of heat transfer we can call it as a forced convective heat transfer. So what is the advantage of this forced convective heat transfer means? We can transfer more amount of heat by using a forced convection. In many engineering applications, we are using forced convection for the purpose of heat transfer, like heat exchangers, radiators, cooling devices. In all the cases, we are using the forced convection principle. For coming to the forced convection, again, in forced convection, these problems we can classify into two types of problems. One is if there is an external flows and if there is an internal flows. External flows means if there is a flow is flowing over a flat plate, over a cylinders and spheres, those flows are considered as external flows. And if the flow is flowing through a pipes, those are taken as internal flows. So for these two cases, for the two flows, we have to find out the solutions. So first we will take a forced convection problems for external flows. So for the simplest example for the external flow is a parallel flow over a flat plate. So we take a flat plate. Over that there is a fluid is flowing with a velocity of u infinity. When the fluid is flowing over a flat plate, when the fluid touches the leading edge of the plate, what happens is there will be a boundary layer will form. So due to this boundary layer development, due to the boundary layer formation, the flow is separated into two regions. Okay. So there is a different kind of flow inside the boundary layer. There is a different kind of flow outside the boundary layer. So outside the boundary layer, there is no change of velocity. The same velocity, the fluid is flowing. But inside the boundary layer, what happens is, so the velocity of the fluid is less than the free stream velocity, and if you observe the velocity over the surface of the plate, the velocity is 0. So over the surface of the plate, the velocity is 0, and slowly the velocity increases, and when it reaches the boundary layer, the velocity reaches to the free stream velocity. So why the velocity on the surface of the plate is 0 means because of frictional forces and drag forces. Due to frictional forces, the velocity becomes 0 when it touches the surface of the plate. So for this flow over a flat plate, we have to find out the solution for this problem. Here the solution means how the velocities are changing, how the temperatures are changing, what is the effect of hydrodynamic boundary layer, what is the effect of thermal boundary layer, okay, and finally, so what is the heat transfer? So what is the heat? You want to find out the heat transfer means first of all we should find out the convective heat transfer coefficient. Okay, what is the combined effect of convective heat transfer coefficient for this flow over a flat plate? To find out that, so there are different approaches. In that, one approach is we have to find out the exact solution for flow over a flat plate. This we can call as the exact laminar boundary layer solution. So in this exact laminar boundary layer, using this approach, so we'll find out the solution. That means we'll find out the convective heat transfer coefficient, and we'll find out the heat what is the amount of heat transfer. So we'll find out what will be the shear stresses developed inside the boundary layer. So all these things we'll find out with the help of exact laminar boundary layer solution. So in this approach, so what we'll do is, so we take an element, over the element we'll apply continuity equation, we'll apply the momentum equation, we will apply the energy equation. So with these three equations we'll apply and we'll find out the solution. So the particular solution will get we'll call it as a Blasius solution. In Blasius solution, we'll get velocity profiles. So u by u infinity is a function of y by delta. That means the change of velocity it is a function of distance from the flat plate to the boundary layer thickness. So from this we will define flow function and streamline function. So to solve the velocity boundary layer. So again we will simplify this Blasius solution and apply the boundary conditions. What are the boundary conditions here is, over the surface of the plate, when y equal to 0, the velocity equal to 0. And slowly the velocity increases, and when it touches the boundary layer, the velocity gradient, that means change of velocity, becomes 0. So the particular thickness we can call as a boundary layer thickness, that is y equal to delta when velocity gradient equal to 0. So if you apply these two boundary conditions for the Blasius solution, you will get boundary layer thickness as 5 divided by square root of u infinity by mu x. So this is nothing but, denominator is nothing but Reynolds number. This is nothing but 5x by square root of Rex. That is, boundary layer thickness is nothing but 5x by square root of Rex. This is the one solution for the flow over a flat plate. Like this we can find out the boundary layer thickness. Not only boundary layer thickness, we have to find out some other parameters. Shear stress. So before that, boundary layer thickness, this thickness it increases when x increases, and the shear stress equal to, shear stress is formula mu into dou u by dou y at y equal to 0. So this will get as a 0.332 into u infinity by square root of rho mu u infinity by x. So this is the shear stress developed over a flat plate when y equal to 0, that is over the surface of the plate. So using this shear stress we can define skin friction coefficient. Skin friction coefficient is nothing but a shear stress by kinetic energy, that is nothing but 0.664 by square root of Rex. Once we calculate the shear force and skin friction coefficient factors, So we'll get the Nusselt number. We'll get the Nusselt number, that is NUX equal to H suffix x into x by k. This is 0.332 REX to the power of half and Prandtl number to the power of 1 by 3. And average heat transfer coefficient H bar Hx bar equal to 2 into Hx. Here Hx is the local heat transfer coefficient and this is the average heat transfer coefficient. The average heat transfer coefficient means it is the heat transfer coefficient over a distance of length, over a distance of x. Similarly, for Nusselt number also there is a local NUX represents local Nusselt number and NUX represents average Nusselt number. This average Nusselt number is the total Nusselt number with a distance of x. So this we can derive as 0.664 into Reynolds number to the power of half and Prandtl number to the power of 1 by 3. So this equation these are the solution only for laminar flow, and the Prandtl number if it is more than 0.6, greater than or equal to 0.6. And so here you want to find out all these things. So we take we have to find out the film temperature. Film temperature means it is the average temperature of solid surface and a flow temperature, Ts plus T infinity by 2. And when you are solving the problems, so first of all you should know that whether the flow is laminar flow or turbulent flow. So for a flow over a flat plate, if the Reynolds number is less than 5 into 10 to the power of 5, so then we can take it as a laminar flow. If Reynolds number is greater than 5 into 10 to the power of 5, then it is taken as a turbulent flow. So like this, using exact laminar solution, here we find the solution, and in the solution we derive what is the modal air thickness, what is the local and average heat transfer coefficient, what will be the local and average Nusselt number. So these things we have discussed. So now we will see one problem, how we have to solve the problem. So in this problem he has given air at temperature 20 degrees centigrade is flowing along a heated plate at 134 degrees centigrade at a velocity of 3 meters per second. The plate is 2 meters long and 1.5 meters wide. Calculate the thickness of the hydrodynamic boundary layer and skin friction coefficient at 40 centimeters from the leading edge of the plate. The kinematic viscosity of air at 20 degrees centigrade is given, that is 15.06 into 10 to the power of minus 6 meters square per second. So in this problem, so first of all you have to read the problem twice and we should note down the data. And in this problem he is asking what is boundary layer thickness and what is the skin friction coefficient. So he is asking to find out the boundary layer thickness at when x equal to 40 centimeters. So at this distance, first we have to calculate Reynolds number. So once we calculated Reynolds number, we got 7.9 into 10 to the power of 4. So since it is less than 5 into 10 to the power of 5, we conclude that it is a laminar flow. So our equations we can use for this problem. So is asking to find out boundary layer thickness, that is delta equal to 5x by square root of Reynolds number. So all these things we know. If you substitute, we can get what is boundary layer thickness. Similarly, skin friction coefficient also, we know that 0.664 by square root of Reynolds number. Here also we have to substitute and we'll get the skin friction coefficient. So here, so all the formulas are available in the data book. So only thing is you should know how to use the data book, heat transfer data book. And there is one more problem. So in the first problem we calculated only fundamental parameters like what is boundary layer thickness and what is friction coefficient. In the second problem, for the same situation, is asking to find out. So calculate the local heat transfer coefficient at x equal to 0.4 meters and the heat transfer from the first 40 centimeters of the plate. In the second problem is asking to find out what is heat transfer coefficient and what is the amount of heat transfer. So here also first you have to note down the data, and here, so first of all you should find out what is the film temperature, because here surface temperature is given and floor temperature is given. You have to find out what is the film temperature. So film temperature is 77 degrees centigrade, that is average temperature. At 77 degrees centigrade, you have to take the heat transfer parameters from the heat transfer data book. So what are the parameters means? You should note down the density, you should note down the Cp, you should note down the kinematic viscosity, you should note down the K value, and you should note down the Prandtl number. So all this data we should take from the heat transfer data book. So from this, so first you have to calculate what is Reynolds number. So here Reynolds number is, that is 5.78 into 10 to the power of 4, it is less than 5 into 10 to the power of 5, so it is a laminar flow. So first you calculate what is the local Nusselt number, that is Hx by K, that is 0.332 into Reynolds number to the power of half and Prandtl number to the power of 1 by 3. Once you calculate Nusselt number, so from this you can find out what is Hx. So this Hx is nothing but local heat transfer coefficient. So once after calculating local heat transfer coefficient, you have to find out average heat transfer coefficient. Average heat transfer coefficient is twice the local heat transfer coefficient. Average heat transfer coefficient is twice the local heat transfer coefficient. And so finally you have to find out what is heat transfer. Heat transfer is nothing but HA into delta T. So average heat transfer coefficient into area into delta T. So like this you can solve the problems. So to solve the heat transfer problems, not only exact laminar boundary layer solution, there is one more methodology is there, that is called as integral laminar boundary layer solution. That is called as integral solution. It is called as integral solution. Using this integral solution, this is a simpler solution than compared to this exact solution. In this solution, we'll get boundary layer thickness as 4.64 x into square root of Reynolds number, and shear stress equal to shear stress equal to 0.323 into rho mu infinity square by square root of Reynolds number, and skin friction factor equal to 0.646 square root of Reynolds number, and average Nusselt number 0.662 into Reynolds number to the power of half and Prandtl number to the power of 1 by 3, and this is local heat transfer coefficient 0.331 K by x, Reynolds number to the power of half and Prandtl number to the power of 1 by 3, and average heat transfer coefficient equal to twice the local heat transfer coefficient. So both this exact solution and this integral solution almost there are very slight variation will be there. So you can use any of these solutions to find out the convective heat transfer problem. And we will see one more problem, how to solve forced convection heat transfer problem. So here in this problem, if you observe air at a pressure of 8 kilonewtons per meter square and temperature at 250 degrees centigrade flows over a flat plate 0.3 meters wide and 1 meter long at a velocity of 8 meters per second. If the plate is to be maintained at a temperature of 78 degrees centigrade, estimate the rate of heat to be removed continuously from the plate. So in most of the heat transfer problems, the methodology is very same. First, you should note down you have to read the problem twice, then you can understand, and next you should note down the data, and you have to identify that what are the things to be measured or calculated, find out. You have to write the formula. Once you write the formula means you will get some understanding. So in this problem he is asking to find out what is the estimate the rate of heat transfer. That means he is asking to calculate heat transfer rate, that is Q equal to HA into Ts minus T infinity. So first note down the data from the problem. So he has given pressure, temperature, X, and dimensions of the plate he has given, fluid velocity, air velocity has given, and plate temperature has given. So first you have to find out what is the film temperature. So for the particular film temperature, you have to read the data from the heat transfer data book. For particular temperature, for 1 atmospheric pressure, note down all the values. But in the problem, he has given the pressure as 8 atmosphere. So we know the data for 1 atmosphere, but in the problem the pressure is 8 atmosphere. So at 8 atmosphere pressure, we have to find out the properties. So how to do this? How to find out the properties at 8 into 10 cube kilonewtons per meter cube means. So if you observe the properties of air such as K, mu and Prandtl number do not change with the pressure. Okay. So this K, that is thermal conductivity and dynamic viscosity and Prandtl number, it will not change with pressure. Only what it changes means density and kinematic viscosity changes with pressure. If you see the density equation, if you take the perfect gas equation, PV equal to mRT or P equal to rho by RT or rho equal to P by RT. That is, so rho is a direct proportional to the P. When P changes, rho changes. And kinematic viscosity also, kinematic viscosity is nothing but mu by rho. Since mu is constant, so kinematic viscosity is inversely proportional to the 1 by rho, or so rho 1 by rho 2, mu 1 by mu 2 is nothing but rho 2 by rho 1, rho 2 by rho 1 is nothing but P1 by P2. Sorry. It is nothing but P2 by P1. It is nothing but P2 by P1. So using this relation, we can find out what is the new kinematic viscosity. So you can find out the kinematic viscosity at 8 into 10 cube kilonewton per meter cube. Once you calculated kinematic viscosity, next you calculate what is Reynolds number. And since Reynolds number is less than 5 into 10 to the power of 5, so we can understand that the flow is laminar, and you apply average heat transfer coefficient. Average heat transfer coefficient is nothing but 0.662 into K by L into Reynolds number to the power of half into Prandtl number to the power of half. So we can calculate the average Nusselt number, average heat transfer coefficient. So once you know the heat transfer coefficient, directly we can find out what is the rate of heat transfer. Heat transfer is nothing but HA into Ts minus T infinity. But the plate had two surfaces, so air is flowing over a plate. That means, so air, it flows over the plate and under the plate also. That's why. So total heat transfer equal to 2 into H into A into T infinity minus Ts. Like this we can calculate the heat transfer from the plate. So like this, in heat transfer Fourier conversion problem, first for the given data, in Fourier conversion problems, we can find out for the given data. First, we have to calculate film temperature. For particular temperature, using data book, you have to read all the properties. Next, you have to find out Reynolds number. Next, you have to find out Nusselt number or heat transfer coefficient. Once you know heat transfer coefficient means, we can calculate what is the amount of heat transfer. So like this, we can solve Fourier convection heat transfer problems. So in this Fourier convection heat transfer, that is in external flows, flow over external flows. Till now we have discussed the flow over a flat plate. And some cases, there will be some special cases, if there are cases of spheres and cylinders. If the flow flows over a cylinder or a sphere, how this boundary layer separation takes place, that now we'll discuss. When the flow is flowing over a cylinder or sphere, okay, so here also there is a boundary layer separation takes place. So initially there is no velocity gradient. When it touches the sphere or cylinder, there will be immediately the boundary layer separation starts. Boundary layer formation takes place. There will be a velocity gradient and there will be a pressure gradient. Okay. And when there is a velocity gradient and when there is a pressure gradient, there will be frictional forces, drag forces, all these things will be there. But when there is a fluid is flowing over a sphere or cylinder, so initially there will be a pressure gradient less than 0, but after some point of time, what happens means the pressure gradient becomes 0. When the pressure gradient becomes 0, inside the boundary layer, the flow separation takes place. Due to the flow separation, what happens means the reversal flow, reversal starts. Due to the flow reversal, the wake regions created. Due to this wake regions, the pressure gradient is increases. That means pressure gradient is greater than 0. So due to this higher pressure gradient, there will be a flow reversal, there will be a wake region, and due to that there will be a drag force. So these are all things takes place when there is a flow over a cylinder or sphere. That means, so at the other end of this cylinder or sphere. So due to this, inside the boundary layer there is another flow separation takes place. Due to that there will be a flow reversal. Due to that there will be a wake region created. Due to that there will be a drag forces and turbulent region develops. So this drag force we can calculate using this formula, drag coefficient CD equal to FD by A into half rho U infinity square. So this is one special case, flow over a cylinders and spheres. Here in flow over a flat plate only there will be a boundary layer, but in flow over a cylinder or spheres, what happens when inside the boundary layer there will be again there is a flow separation takes place. Due to this flow separation there is a wake region, flow reversal and turbulent zones will be created, and there will be more amount of drag force. So these are the things in Fourier conversion we have to study. So today in a Fourier conversion we have discussed what is meant by Fourier conversion, what are the different types of flows in Fourier conversion, that is external flows and internal flows. Again, for external flows over a flat plate, how to solve this? So one solution is using exact laminar solution. We calculated boundary layer thickness, shear forces, friction coefficient, local heat transfer coefficient, average heat transfer coefficient, local Nusselt number and average Nusselt number, and finally we have calculated heat transfer. Similarly, there is another methodology, that is integral solution. Integral solution also the equations are more or less very similar. So all the equations are available in the heat transfer data book, but only thing is you should know how to use heat transfer data books for solving the problems. Apart from this, we have discussed flow over a spheres and cylinders, how the boundary layer takes place and how the flow separation takes place due to the change of pressure gradient over a flow. Okay. Thank you.